helpful. So, Sales Kickoff 2026, 15 process power-ups. Um, so, I'm going to start off by asking you guys a question. Yeah. Uh, I want to get a feeling for what you are seeing in the world of sales today. See if it's the same thing as me. What I will do is I'll give you 5 options, A, B, C, D, E. And when I've given you those, if you could put into chat which one, 2, 3, 4, or all 5 of those are you seeing? And that'll give us a bit of a feeling for where we're all at today. Okay, so what are you seeing in the world of sales today? Do you recognize that we are getting involved later in the buying process? So our customers are bringing us in later. They're trying to do more stuff on their own. There's a ton of information out there. They're using that. They're self-diagnosing. They're working stuff out, and they don't want to talk to us as salespeople until further down the line. That's A, advanced. Customers are more advanced. Because of this, they become more demanding or biased. Biased towards the stuff that they figure out for themselves. That is what they want. And so they will kind of push towards doing that, even though we might be able to show them a better way to do something. So they become more biased to the stuff that they're trying to achieve in the way they want to achieve it. Now, it sounds as though they've got it all sorted. However, we might also be coming across customers who are more confused. There is a lot of information out there. There is a ton of stuff going on. The world is a confusing place. We talk about VUCA world, don't we? Volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity. All of this stuff is going on. So we could also see that our customers are more confused. We might also be seeing that there are more people involved in the decision to be made. So the decision-making unit, there's more people involved, more stakeholders, more folk we need to talk to and help them get what they want. We've got to put a tick into their box because there's just more people who are looking at what's going on and getting involved in that decision. And we might also be seeing that it is more emotional. It sounds more emotional. By that, I call it almost more personal. Yeah, people have got these personal drivers, their own things that are going on. It could be their ambition, it could be their risk aversion. It could be these elements which are coming into play, which aren't so logical, if you like, but we have to be dealing with those as well. So A, B, C, D, E, what things are we seeing there? Okay, so I'm looking down there, I'm seeing an ACE, ACE. It's not so ace though, is it? A and E, so okay, you're seeing later, and they are more emotional about the fact as well. Okay, Philip, you're based in Spain, aren't you? Carl's putting B and E. They're more demanding, they're more biased. They know what they want. They want to do it like this. Yeah, and they're probably pushing you harder on the solution you've got to give. And they're more emotional about it. Yeah, interesting. We're seeing E's come up in that quite a lot. Okay, I'm seeing all of those. In some way, shape or form, depending who I'm working with, customers will be seeing all of that, and that's stuff that we need to deal with. And I think we're seeing this increasingly. We're seeing more and more and more of this. So we need to get our heads around what we do. So there we go. There's a little bit about sales today. What is the aim of this session? Okay, what do we want to try and achieve? 3 things. I want to highlight some areas for wins. I want you to take stuff away and be able to do it. That's my acid test. Could you apply some of this stuff tomorrow? Done that, done a good job. So I'll give advice, ideas, guidance, thoughts. And yeah, I'm here to answer questions. So again, use chat or use the Q&A if you want to ask the chat kind of privately, because only I can see that one. Then ping it into there. If I know I'm going to cover it, I'll acknowledge it, or I'll pick it up at the end. So to do that, we've got 3 parts, 3-part play, if you like. We're going to have a look at what stops you getting the results. We're going to have a look at that first. Then we'll kind of have a look at how you can start to get results. What can we do to deal with some of those things? Then we'll go into this more consistent success and look at a framework. And this is where I'll share the 15 elements. I've actually changed the presentation just before this, which is something I would not advise people to do. But what I've done is I've substituted some slides that rather than go through the 15 things, I'm actually going to map it onto 90 days so that you can take this, take the ideas, because I know it can feel overwhelming, but work out how you can start to implement them across the first quarter to get them all into your working practice. It's essentially what we sell on the accelerator, but I've just decided, look, have it. I want you to take the stuff and use it. So yeah, those slides have gone in at the end. Um, good. So, um, could you pop into chat a little bit about yourself? So just tell me where you are, job role. Yeah, that would be good. And maybe the market that you're selling into. Just as I'm going through, if I've got that in my head, I can spin some of the examples, spin some of the ideas towards that. Uh, while you're doing that, if I introduce myself, so my name's Fred Copestake. Over the last 25 years, I've traveled around the world 14 times, worked in 38 different countries, trained over 10,000 salespeople. It's a real honour, real privilege to do that. Yeah, a lot of fun. But also it's given me a ton of insights. It's really helped me understand the challenges that salespeople have and where we're going in sales today. So that led me to write my first book. I read one, Selling Through Partnering Skills, which is all about being more collaborative in the way that we sell. Rather than trying to sell at people, we sit alongside them and help them to make decisions. Bit of a twist on what sales was in the past. So that came out in 2020, all about collaborative selling. 2020, yeah, okay, same as you know what. And so, like everyone else, lockdown, I watched all of Netflix, got to the end of Tiger King, and thought, you know what, there really has got to be something better to do with life. And I was looking at these changes that were going on because of the situation we were in and realized that changes were coming along faster. They were happening. And so that, whilst locked down, led me to write a second book, Hybrid Selling. So putting together some of the many different ways in which a good, competent salesperson needs to tap into to really be able to serve their customer. I think it's sometimes a bit like a drummer. Yeah, if you're just drumming away one little stick on a snare drum, it's not a good performance. You need the whole big drum kit so you can play all the different things depending what it is you're trying to achieve. And if you're someone like Tommy Lee, you have a big lights and roller coaster and all that sort of stuff that makes your performance good. Um, However, there's a natural progression in this, and you'll see that I've got a bit of an obsession with threes. And the natural progression for me with the third book, which came out at the end of last year, no, 24. We've moved years, haven't we? Was ethical selling. This is where we're going. This is what customers want. This is what's more effective. So pulling some of the ideas into that, in how we can do stuff which causes a win-win-win situation. Yeah, win for our customers, win for our company, but also win for our conscience, because we can look ourselves in the mirror and say, yes, way I've gone about doing this, yeah, it's been decent, been honest, yeah, full of integrity. That's probably why it's worked. Customers want it. Anyway, long introduction. Short introduction is I'm all about good people doing good things in a good way. Read that on two levels. Yeah, competent salespeople achieving results because they've got decent process. Or could it be that it is inherently decent people who are achieving things that are making a difference because of the way they go about doing that? Works on both levels. So look, that is what I'm here to promote. That is what I want to help. What I will do, I'm gonna give little gifts. Yeah, I know it's beginning of the year, but pretend it's Christmas. Yeah, some gifts to help you guys to start to apply that. That'll come in the. I'll send you an email afterwards. If you didn't register because of that strange thing, can you pop your email address into the Q&A? So in Q&A, only I can see that. You're not giving your email to everybody else. And then I can make sure that you get this recording and the gift, which in the first one here is this Kickstarter. So I recorded these videos some years ago, but it's a little kind of email, I don't want to say course, they're 30 seconds to a minute long, which will just stimulate some thinking. So you can sign up to that. You'll get those. It'll just get your head in gear over the next 30 days. Cool. Right. So let's get in. Let's get stuck in. What is stopping you get results? What's stopping you get results? Can I be blunt? Shall I be blunt? Can I be direct? Put into chat, yes or no. Put into chat, yes or no. Can I be blunt? Yes, yes, please. Good. I'm glad you said yes. I'm not sure what I'd done if you said no. Those that know me, and I do recognise some names on here, say, oh, Fred, I'm going to put no because I want to see your non-blunt version. That'd be funny. Right, okay. The reason you're not getting results is because you are ineffective, old-fashioned, and confused. Let me explain. Okay, so I'll give these little labels. It's how I remember stuff. I like to have little kind of labels for things. And so this first one is about being busy, busy, busy. And you might have heard yourself say this. Oh, how are you? Oh, busy, busy, busy. And if we're busy, 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 what this can mean is that we become wasteful, it's tiring, and it's all to do with us being unfocused. So let's just have a think about this. So wasteful. What happens here is we chuck away our most precious resource. Our most precious resource is time, and we throw it away. We might be throwing it away doing trivial stuff. We all do it, easy, fun things, knocking stuff off a to-do list just because we can, but actually not really having any impact. Or it could be that we're not really using our time invested into thinking about what can we really do with our best opportunities. Sometimes we have this accident orientation, which means we've got to run around doing things all the time, but sometimes stopping, slowing down to think about what we do will make a difference. What happens then is that we're chucking all this, all the good stuff away, and we're not getting the results. So we do more of it. Oh, it sounds crazy, doesn't it? The old Einstein definition of insanity. We run around, you're doing more. I'm not getting results, I'll do even more. And you're throwing good effort after bad. And that's tiring. And it's a vicious circle. It gets worse. We go as far as saying it's stressful. Yeah, it becomes stressful. And really, that is not a place we want to be. Not a place we want to be at all. And it's all to do with this unfocused approach. We're rushing around, pillar to post, doing all sorts of things. Feel busy. At the end of the day, I've done loads of things, but it's not made a difference. It's not made a difference. So we need to kind of catch ourselves doing this, recognize it, and we can do something about it, which I'll go on to. But we need to just have a look at some of the other blockers, because I'm only on one of three. The other thing we might see is this oldie worldy approach. So I've written it Shakespearean style, because it's about being old fashioned. And this is where we're self-centered, too technical, and could basically just be poor practice. So let's break it down. Self-centered, and this is rather than being customer focused. This is me, we, my product, my service, my organization. You've probably sat in presentations where somebody rocks up and that's the first part of the presentation. It's all about them. And you're thinking, well, okay, so what? What about me? What about the stuff I'm trying to achieve? What are you doing? Happens. Yeah, quite common. Easy fix. Another thing we might see, and I work with quite a lot of technical people, quite a lot of engineers, they go very technical, they go very deep, very detailed. Now, that could be needed. Okay, I recognize that. But sometimes it's not. It's needed for them. They like the technicalities of it. That's what they would use when they're thinking, but not what the customer would use. So yeah, they might be right, or it could be that we're just putting too much detail and overwhelming folk with too much. Now, these two things are often passionate. People are excited. They care about what they sell. They're proud of their company. They're easy adjustments. The other one I see is just people are just using bad technique. Bygone era stuff. They've read some 80s sales closing books, whatever it is. It's that manipulative, pushy, antithesis of ethical selling stuff. It doesn't work. It pushes people away. People think they're being dead clever. Nah, not. I had a guy who was desperately trying to push me into a call the other day on a DM. Push me in. Let's have a call. I said, no, but tell me this. No, that's what the call's for. Just tell me this. That's what the call's for. I knew that he was thinking, oh, I can be really sneaky and you get on the call and I'll use my Jedi sales tricks to... Well, no, you won't because I won't turn up. Didn't. So said, no, just leave it. I don't even want to talk. Shame because he'd actually done a reasonable opening. So yeah, we need to be aware of that old techniques don't work. Okay, so other one we have is this muddled mindset. So that's the third kind of blocker we've got. This goes a little bit more like this. We say organization, management, individual level. So the way it goes in the organization says, we're consultative, we're customer focused, we're buyer-centric. Excellent, very good. End of the month, oh no, not sold enough. Get out there, flog stuff, discount it. Transactional. Consultative, transactional. Per month, 30 days. And this puts managers in a really hard place because it's like, well, am I supposed to be supporting and nurturing and growing salespeople, coaching them? Or have I got the stick or spreadsheet? Yeah, they're stuck, rock and hard place. And the poor salesperson, they're confused. It's like, well, what am I supposed to be doing here? You say we're consultative, you say we're customer focused, but now you're asking me to go and push this stuff, which customer I don't really want. Don't know what to do here. They're really frustrated. So yeah, I'm saying these not to have a go, but if you recognize them, that's the first step of doing something about it. Yeah, and so if you recognize, actually, yeah, that's what last year was like, that's what we ended up doing. Oh, let's not let this next year be like it. Ways to overcome it then. We can start to get results. These are solvable. Yeah, usually pretty easy. We just got to commit to doing it. So, well, no surprise, the solution is to be effective, modern, and aligned. Let's go into detail on it. Break it down. Busy, busy, busy. That's countered by the effective. So here we prepare, plan, and use process. So preparation. This is making the most of opportunities. This is stopping and thinking. It's not winging it. It's not chasing around all the time. Yeah, that's how we can add value because we stop, we think, we work out what we can use to share with the customer and add value through that interaction. And we can use it to choose the right prospects, understand what's important to them. That preparation time shouldn't be viewed as wasted time. It's an investment. We invest that time in doing the right stuff. And we can feed that into the plan. So look, we can plan all sorts of things, but this is planning so we can just get our balance in right, reduce that stress. When you're busy, everything becomes a priority. Judgment's clouded. You're into manic mode, running around doing everything. When we've planned what we're going to do and we're doing it under control, we can make sure that we're doing these things right at the time that's right for us. So from the whole of the year, the account, meetings, it's using our time well. It's self-management. And if we can do that, it's just a far more enjoyable thing to be doing. And so this is all about process. So focusing on the right activity, tried and tested methods, structured ways of working, right for you, right for the organization, right for the customer. It's weird. I see salespeople that think it's a weakness. They think it makes them less responsive because they're following a process. They think it makes them less of a, I don't know, good salesperson because they can react, they can respond. No, this is a game plan. It's a game plan. And for process, I would talk about systems, procedures, even templates, ways of working that we don't try and reinvent the wheel every time because we've got a way we know that works. And then we can focus in on doing that well. Follow the process. Interesting when you watch elite sports people, particularly when they're interviewed about how tough game that's coming up. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to We'll follow the process. We'll follow the process. It's like a mantra because they know that is what will help them be successful. So yeah, okay, oldie worldy. Remember Shakespearean style because it's old-fashioned stuff. Get more modern. How do we do that though? Flip, follow, focus. So this is potentially the easiest thing that somebody can do to modernize their sales approach, but I see such resistance to it. People struggle with this one. But all it is to flip their attention from you to them. Don't talk about your stuff. Ask them about their stuff. Don't subject people to a ton of slides about you. Put some stuff up that's about them. Yeah, presentations particularly, I just see them, they're upside down. I look at them and go, right, wrong way around. Those go there, that bit, which is about them, starts. People battle it, fight it. Don't want to do that. Why? You don't want to talk about stuff they care about. That's what you're saying. It's an easy flip, but there seems to be a lot of mental resistance to it. Now, all those logos and things and pictures and all that sort of stuff, you said, no, don't need it. Follow a way of working that's all about their issues. Yeah, think about how you can prepare and manage a conversation which is going to be about them. That's the secret. Secret. It's not even secret. That's a route to success. Following process that will do that. Focus on stuff that actually work. Forget the old school tricks. Closers. Nonsense. Be careful what you read on LinkedIn. There's so much nonsense which is still like, try this trick, try this trick, try this trick. Yeah, why? Well, it gets a lot of engagement. But actually, is it stuff that works? Look at the stuff that is making a difference today. Now, that doesn't mean it's stuff that hasn't gone on before. Yes, there is still a huge amount of relevant stuff. There's normally been a couple of little shifts. There's ways in which we would apply things that worked in the past, just with a bit of a modern take on it. Work those out, bring them into the way of working, and we can make a real difference. And then from the model mindset, this is about clarity, coaching, confirmation. Yeah, the organization needs to be clear. This is how we sell. This is how we do it. This is our way, and we'll stand by it. Now, you might course correct along the way, but this is what we do. We're not going to flip and flop, flip, flop. Now the managers can coach. Coaching has a massive impact on sales success. Massive. I've had a look at the My Sales Coach report for 2026, and most salespeople think they don't get it and don't get it well. And it's a shame because this would really make a difference for the majority of people. Good coaching. If you haven't got a coach, you haven't got a manager that coaches, then find a buddy, find somebody who will help you. Yeah, green hat. I know. I need to change that slide, don't I? It should be an orange hat. Orange coaching hat. Good spot, Mike. But we want salespeople to be sure that what they're doing is the right thing, not keep moving the goalposts. Yeah, I'm doing the right thing. This is the way we do it. I can make a decision in the moment if that's what I have to do. Yeah, I've been entrusted. I've been empowered to do that. This fires up intrinsic motivation, the motivation that comes from inside, because people are happy. They know what it is that they're doing. So these things will make a huge difference. So what we'll do. So yeah, another little thing that you'll get when I send out the recording on that landing page. There will be access or a button to go to the collaborative selling scorecard. So this is a scorecard which will ask you 35, 6. I should know, shouldn't I? 35 or 30. It takes about 5 minutes. Say that. Where you'll have a number of questions which will create a report just for you, dynamic content behind it, which will give you a feeling and some feedback on what it is you're doing at the moment. It's designed around that kind of modern take on selling I was talking about, which is collaborative selling. Collaborative selling. So it'll give you a bit of a feeling for that. Have a look on that one. Yeah, again, all this stuff I'm giving you is free. No charge on this. Good, right. Let's get stuck into building consistent success. So, right, high level, there's the challenge we've got. That's the sort of stuff we can do. Let's take it. Let's get tactical. That's why I decided to do this sales kickoff. It's a tactical thing. I'm going to give you a ton of tactics now. They are going to come thick and fast. That's why you'll get the recording. You can pause it, go back over things. But I would be really interested at the end to know which of these resonates strongest with you. Yeah, which one has given you the proper aha moment as to, aha, yeah, I can do that. I'm going to ask you that question at the end. There we go, signpost. So, like I said, I'm going to give it as a 90-day action plan. So rather than just look, here are tactics, want you to take it, want you to apply it. Yeah, this will give you quick wins. When you get a quick win, it'll build momentum. That will start to build into the process. From a leadership point of view, if you take these, it means you can support it, you can coach it. If we can get to the end of this quarter and you come back to me and say, Fred, I took some stuff from that kickoff. It was awesome. We put it in play. It worked. I will be so happy. So happy. So really what I'm doing is I'm breaking down what we do in our own accelerator. 90 days, which is a mixture of training and coaching. So different modules where we give information, people start to apply it, we see how they're using it. The secret is, which is why we can drive results, you apply it into real life. It's not just theoretical stuff. It's not information for the sake of it. It's stuff to be implemented. That's why this stuff works. So you take them and you use them in real life. All of these things you can use in real life tomorrow. So So yeah, 15 things to try to apply tomorrow is going to be a lot. So I'm going to give you them in sort of little 15-day chunks that if you concentrate on this for 2 weeks, you'll have them in place. You can then move on to the next. Use this as like a little roadmap, 90 days. They're all based on this concept of thinking like a partner. Thinking like a partner. It's the stuff that's in Red Book here. Collaborative selling. That's what we're talking about here. Taking that and putting it into a digestible way for you. It's all around the value framework. Value framework. And when we think about it, sales is actually pretty simple. Oh, we do have to come back. Wrong order. Didn't want to do that. Want to do that. There's 5 things. 5 things that we want to be thinking about. It's about having the right opportunities, doing the right research so that we can have the right conversations to work out the right solution that drives the right outcomes. Customers buy outcomes. So actually we can wrap that one around and say, actually, they're going to be the best opportunities, the people that we can drive the right outcomes for. That's what we're trying to do. So the first part, the first 15 days, really is getting your head around that, this think like a partner mindset, and how are we going to do that? How are we going to adjust ourselves into they are our be all end all. That is our focus. That's what we'll do on the accelerator. So we get into the next 15 days, and here what we're doing is we're starting to think about those right targets, those right opportunities. And so this is all about profiling, value proposition, messaging. These are the first 3 things. So 3 little words. What 3 little words you love to hear? Tell you what, I've not asked you to put anything in chat for a little bit, and I need a quick sip of water. So could you put into chat 3 little words that you'd love to hear? 3 little words that we all love to hear. What might those be? Pop them into chat for me. It's not orange hat thinking, Mike, before you go there. Oh, let's go ahead. That's the end of the process. But yeah, I know where you're coming from, Philip. I want to buy. That's 4 words. 3 little words. Okay, I'm going to crack on with this. Ideal customer profile. It's not I love you, could be, but it's ideal customer. Onboard inspiration, yeah. I like that. Now, ideal customer profile. This is such a key thing. So I said it, didn't I, on these 5 things. Ideal customer profile are the people that we can deliver the best outcomes for. And when we profile them and really have very strict criteria or known criteria, we know who to go to look for. We know that we can then qualify the people that we're most likely to have the impact with, and we can disqualify, qualify out the people we don't want to work with. Let's be clear on that, and let's not waste our time. The more people we say, but we might be able to work with them, we're going to get into a busy spiral. We're going to be running around doing all sorts of crazy stuff. It'll also mean that we might be targeting people that we're not going to make a difference for. We're going to be trying to get in and talking to them, but we'll struggle because the value proposition doesn't match. So when I'll talk to people about value proposition, I'll tend to talk about value proposition. Too many people will give propositions. Here you go, this is stuff we do. Right, who's that about? It's about you, isn't it? Value, who defines value? It's the customer. So we've got to spend time to think about, well, what is the stuff that they care about? Now we can go into great depth on that. I can run workshops where we'll go in, like spend 2-3 days mapping this stuff out, again, sales process, going super deep. But there's a quick version to this. Quick version, if you're doing this and you're doing it in this little 2-week sprint, think about pain and prize. Pain and prize. Customer pain. What is it that's going on in their world that's causing them issues, concerns, problems, challenges, stuff that they don't like, struggles? Think about that. This is about really knowing who we sell to. On the flip side, what is it they're actually trying to achieve? What is the prize? What's the goal? What's the ambition? What's the aspiration? Good look like? Now, I'm a very visual thinker, and I think about it's like a river. They're on this side of the river. They want to be on that side of the river because it's better. How do they get across the river? Well, we've got the stepping stones. We've got the things that we can take them across the river. But when we're very clear on these and we can talk about them. We can talk about them elegantly. It changes the way we message, and the message lands. So we're not talking about ourselves. We're talking about them. That's most people's favourite subject. That's what they will pick up on, and that's what will open up the conversations. When we've done work around this, and the short way of talking about this is like you talk about the problem, not the product. The messages change, and when we talk about messaging, gosh, there's a lot of ways to message now, aren't there? So many different channels, so many different channels. But at the core of it, the message will be the same. It's saying, hey, look, I know what's going on in your world, and we can do stuff about this. Know what problems you've got. That's the key. That's where it's well worth investing time and effort. If you want a tough exercise, and it's a tough one, get a spreadsheet, 1 to 99, bang, down the side. Get Jay-Z, stick it on the Spotify, 99 problems. Have that playing and try to write 99 problems that your potential customer has in their world. It's a toughie, but if you can do that, and you can do that manually, don't default to AI yet, it'll really get you thinking about how you can start to talk to them about the stuff that they're going to care about. Not about you. Not about you. Just while we talk about messaging, I will talk about using video. That is something that I'm seeing more and more of, becoming more and more effective, mainly because, yeah, DMs, calls, all the rest of it, it's hard. Video cuts through. Video does seem to cut through. It also has the benefit of, well, it's you. I know you can AI video stuff, but I think a well recorded and sent video to people, it's a little bit different. Bit of effort got into it, showing you thought about someone, mix that up with just about their problems. It's an interesting way to think about how you're going to communicate. Yeah, there we go. Another video. God, how egocentric's that? Picture of me with me. Okay, let's move on. I use Vidyard. I like Vidyard. Yeah, got no affiliation with them. I just like it. Used it for a little bit. It's connected into LinkedIn, so you can send it in LinkedIn, you can send it in emails. You can record your videos, you have the things which work for people, you can send them out. I just like that one in particular. That, and actually in LinkedIn, I'm starting to use some native stuff, so I'm actually recording it and sending it. It is a video per person. And I actually just make a big deal that it is me doing it. It's not AI. So yeah, video, just suggestion on that. Have a look, play with that. Good, right, so that's the first part of the value framework. It's about the right opportunities. Let's have a think about the right research. So again, we get that stuff in place, spend 2 weeks thinking about that. We can now move in thinking, right, okay, good. We know what to say. We know who to get in front with. We're starting to think about how to get in front of people. It's cool. How can we research this better? So, okay, 3 things we can talk about: account plans, change drivers, and customer value. So, plans. Plans are nothing, planning is everything. First time I saw this, made no sense whatsoever to me. Didn't get it. But then I did. In the process of us planning is us thinking about what's going on, so that when we start to implement that, it's likely to fail, not work. But we've actually got the stuff that we've thought about to be able to go into plan B, C, D, E. So from a sales point of view, the time we spend thinking, come back to that, and planning and working stuff through is really helpful. If we're into sort of bigger, more complex, sophisticated opportunities, an account plan, that's non-negotiable really. So things that I would tend to include in that, yeah, objective. What is it we're trying to achieve? Yeah, where are we headed? If we know we're headed, we can start to think about what some of those actions are. But before we go into it, kind of, all right, let's go and do all this stuff, let's think about the decision-making unit. Talked about decision makers earlier. There's more of them. Well, who are they? What do they care about? What influence they have on that decision being made? How strong is that influence? We can start to map that out. And what starts to happen is we'll realize stuff we don't know. Often it's stuff we thought we knew. They go, actually, I don't know that. But that's great. A known unknown is awesome because we can do something about it. SWOT analysis works well: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Own perspective, but try and put yourself in the customer's shoes. Do it from their perspective. Again, if you can't, you don't know them well enough. Who are your competition? Yeah, who's selling against you? What other alternatives, including do nothing, might the customer have? And so what are your actions? What are you going to do as a result of this? You can map this through, way of thinking. It's thinking process, not just do this stuff, file it. It's a way of keeping us on top of stuff. To feed into that, a respect analysis works well, particularly if you're trying to engage more senior people in an organization. Yeah, they will absolutely probably not care about your products and services. Yeah, they've got their own thing to do, their own ship to steer. They are looking at what's going on in the wider world that's coming in and causing them problems. Yeah, regulatory, economic, social, political, environmental, competitive, technological. That's coming in and changing their plans. Have a look at those. Think about what they might be. Try to predict. Use that to start to engage and talk to them. You will show you the kind of person that they want to talk to because you get this stuff. Regulatory, economic, social, political, environmental, competitive, technological. From their point of view. From their point of view, because it is them that defines value. Customer defines value. Scooby-Doo machine. Scooby-Doo mystery machine. Why on earth have I put that? Right, it's to do with the definition of value that a colleague told me some years ago, and I love, and I've used ever since. So Mike Wilkinson, thank you very much, sir. I've used this since we had that chat, when he said, Fred, value's a mystery. I went, yes. What do you mean? It takes me time to understand stuff, right? And he says, well, think about it. It's a mystery. You don't know what it is, but a customer might not even know what it is. Actually, they define it, but they don't know what it is. Our job is to uncover that mystery, to solve the mystery. That's the value. That's what we can start to work on together, collaboratively, to deal with. And I thought, oh, that's brilliant. Love it. Use that ever since. Could you pop into chat for me, just a Y or N, yes or no? Are you using AI in sales? Are you using AI in any way, shape, or form in the way you sell? Okay, so a couple of no's coming in there, a couple of yeses. Right, so the no's, get on board. That'll be my advice. If this is your biggest takeaway from this, it's just start having a bit of a play with AI and use this as a way to have a little play. Okay, so this is a way in which we can start to give ourselves some clues as to what that customer value is. So with a detective, we're Scooby-Doo, but actually we're going to go faster to get to, well, it's janitor usually, isn't it? But right, so we're going to ChatGPT, Gemini, whichever LLM you're using. And you go to it, you can use rapid research, and you're saying, tell me about the role of, and you put in the role of the person you'd sell to. Mine might be a sales director at an engineering company. Tell me about the role of the sales director at an engineering company. Bang, in it goes. Okay, and it'll come out. And you'll go, yeah, okay, I know, because I sell. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Tell me more. Tell me more about that. Good, right, you've understood the role a little bit. Tell me what are the aims of the person in this role. You could use KPIs, you could use goals, could use objectives. Yeah, understand what it is that they're trying to achieve. Great. Okay, good. Now the AI, we're going to do something a bit funky with it. We're going to tell it to be that person. So we're going to say, act as, or you are the sales director at the engineering company. Tell me, what pressures are you under on a daily basis? Now it's going to answer you like that person that you're selling to. Oh, okay, interesting. Oh, I could do something about that. Oh, lovely. Before you get too excited about that, another question. Tell me, what are the impacts of those pressures? What are the impacts? On a personal and professional basis. Personal, why? Because of that emotional element that we talked about earlier that's coming into play. Again, it'll start to give you such insights into what's going on in this person's world. What are the dreams, what are the goals, what are the aspirations is the last part of rapid. But just using that and having a conversation as though you're talking to the most intelligent person in the world that understands absolutely everything ever, that'll give you some stuff back. Loads of other ways in which we can use AI, plenty. I've got some good podcasts based on that. But that as a little starter, a little way to play, have a look. And there will pretty much, well, always be something that you'll uncover. Even though you might have been selling to this avatar, this person forever, there'll be some bits which come out and think, oh, I never even thought of that. Have a little bit play with that one. Okay? Let me know how you get on. Let me know how you get on with doing that. Yeah? If you're a little bit more advanced in this, if you've done some stuff with it, What I will do on the thing I send you, the landing page with the recording, there's access to the Brindis bots. So the Brindis bots are some GPTs which I developed a little bit ago now, which come into play at different parts of this sales process we talked about. So there's one which helps you with your ideal client, one that helps you build a value prop, one that helps you build messages. My favorite at the moment, I have a favorite bot. God, I'm sad. Is the question generator. You can have a bit of a talk with this and come out with some cracking questions. Get over your own ego, is what I'd say on this. Yeah, I'm really good at asking questions. I've been in sales for ages. Have a little bit of a play and use this bot to turbocharge what you would do anyway. AI is about amplifying what we would do. Yeah, we need to stay being human, but we can get the AI to do so much of heavy lifting very, very quick. Right, different webinar. Let's move on from AI. So keep moving through the process. We get to the point of the next little sprint. Next little sprint here will be about really thinking about the conversations that we have. There we go, I've just been talking about questions. And that's a key part of it. However, I'd also say that insight is a key thing. Insight is when we're shining a light on something. And we're not turning up and talking about our product, but we're turning up and talking about a customer's problem or something going on in their market or something that is going to be interesting for them. Yeah, it's this nugget that's going to just kickstart a conversation. Again, please, it's not about the product or service you sell. It'll be about something that's going on in their world, maybe in the broader, wider world that's affecting them. Use that as a way to stimulate conversation and show you're the kind of person that they want to talk to. And then we move into using questions. Questions have always been such a key part of sales. However, I think we've got a shift now in why we're asking questions. When I first started in sales, we'll be asking questions because we would want to qualify somebody. Bam. Budget authority need time. Bang. And then some info from them so I could go, ta-da! Look at what a wonderful thing I've got that I can sell to you. That information's out there now. Yeah, they've got this. They understand your product and your competitors as well. Yeah, they've got access to this. So as a salesperson, we're asking questions to be something of a sense maker. We ask them questions to help them think, to get their head around something. Yeah, look, we might be some technical specs that we need to put together a solution, but if we're doing stuff to help them think, then absolutely we will be somebody that they will want to continue talking to. And we're saying, what I'm saying is people say it's harder and harder and harder to talk to customers because they're not seeing the value. It's horrible. They don't want to talk to us because they can't see the point. The point is they get something from that. So questions for that. Why the elephant? Just put me a yes or no into chat. Rudyard Kipling. Have you heard of Rudyard Kipling? Do you know Rudyard Kipling? Do you know Rudyard Kipling? Do you know him? Know him? Heard of him? Yes. Good. I asked a group the other day. Nobody knew Rudyard Kipling. Somebody asked if it was the cake guy. It's not the cake guy. Oh, yes. Somebody's just done their exceedingly good. Love it. I'm talking about the Jungle Book guy, or the guy that wrote If, correct, and also Elephant's Child. So he wrote some stories for his children. Elephant's Child is about why the elephant has a long nose, trunk. I won't spoil it too much, but there's a little rhyme in there that goes, I keep 6 honest serving men who taught me all I knew. Their names were what and where and why, and when and how and who. So as a basis for asking questions, open questions, those W words will mean that somebody has to respond and think. There's other patterns we can use. We can probing TED questions, tell me, explain, describe. Yeah, actually if, but in a different word as a hypothetical question we could ask. But a well-formed, high-gain question that's thoughtful because you've done your research, you understand what's going on in their world, you're indicating you know that through the question, and they've got to go, whoa, need to think about that. Yeah, you do. That's why I asked it. It makes a lot of sense. And so what we need to do is make sure that we have a structure to meetings, calls, so phone call, Teams call, face-to-face, that we step through doing right thing, right time. Ask before tell, basically. I like using AIDA, attention, interest, desire, action. Been around forever. I thought it was 1950s. I found out last year it's actually been around from early 1900s. But it maps onto how people think and it keeps us in control of doing right thing at right time. So we have better quality meetings because we've got a structure, a game plan to them. Doesn't make us robotic, but it keeps us in control and doing the things which are going to help the customer. Keep moving, got an eye on the clock. Right, so where are we now? We're into the next set of 15 days. Next set of 15 days, this is all about how we present information. Proposals, presentations, stories. Okay, so proposals. This is probably still something that salespeople don't do very well, particularly that I've seen. It's a shame because there's a very simple structure to them. Yeah, structure I'd use. Background to the company you're going to sell to, not you. They don't care. This is the stuff that they are all about. And then the next section, the need, is the stuff that we've extracted through having good conversations. We match that need to our solution, and then we do have a little bit about why us. Yeah, you can big up your own company at this stage. Price, yeah, or investment, whatever you want to call it. Little tip, put next to that bullet points which are summarizing the need and the solution. Why? Because that's the first thing people read. So put that in. It used to be the hardest thing to write. It took ages. Now you whack it into ChatGPT, say, can you give me 3 bullet points next to price which summarize why they would pay this? Bang. People look at that first. Presentation, then, it's where we take the proposal and we animate it, bring it to life. Structure, this all down to structure. Look how many structures and frameworks and things there are that we can just slot good best practice into. The best structured presentation has beginning, middle, end. Learn this at primary school. Do we now do it? I've seen presentations that do not have that structure. It's just random information. Beginning, middle, end. And think about what I'd said before, flipping it so that the stuff that's at the beginning, it's all about the customer. It's them, that's what they care about. Open with impact. The impact opening will be a summary of what they're going to get from working with you. Dangle that carrot. Yeah. Again, see so many presentations that are just kind of bimbled into. Want to have impact. Technique to help with this is storytelling, telling stories. People love stories. Yeah, we have done forever. It's how we share information. But when we tell a story, what we're trying to do is we're trying to put the customer at the center of it. So hero's journey is a model which you might have heard of. If you put your favorite Disney film into chat, pop that in while I'm explaining this, I'll pretty much guarantee it's going to have a hero's journey structure, which is that the hero isn't a hero. They don't know. They're just a normal person in the known world. And what happens is they're call to action. They will move into the unknown world where they're going to have to go through a series of battles and problems and things that they will come out of it better, back into the known world, but a bigger and better version of themselves. As they're going through all these battles, then they will have guides, assistants, mentors, people who are there, got their back, giving them stuff that's going to help them with those. On that slide there, Lion King, yeah, absolutely, yeah. I don't even know who they are, I've not seen it. Harry Potter, yeah, big Harry Potter fan. Harry, you're a wizard. Ooh, bang, but known to unknown. Hagrid, Dumbledore, Ron, Hermione, all those who are helping him with his spells and his wands and his invisibility cloaks. Star Wars, Luke, you're a Jedi, mate. Okay, ooh, hey, right. Lightsaber, training, whatever. This pattern is very, very similar in many things. We're doing the same thing. Customer's the hero. We're calling out their issue. They're going into this unknown world where we are able to provide them with the stuff they need to come out the other side better. It's not only a format for presenting, it's actually, I think, a mindset for selling. Yeah. We're getting a bit sophisticated now, but look, it's worth mentioning there. So last little sprint. Well, here, look, we're selling outcomes. That is what we do. That is what we do. Salespeople, we sell outcomes. Again, I think that's a mindset thing. Yeah, their success is our success. They're looking to buy results off us. So let's get our head around this and let's make sure then that we are reviewing with people, are they getting that? Now, I say to people, shift a QBR, quarterly business review, to a quarterly value review. Different things. Business review, hey, look at all the stuff we did. Well, yeah, you said you would. Well, I'm impressed. Value review, this is a value you've got. Tell us what value you're getting. How can we create more value together? Different tones of meeting that we can put into place when we're working with a customer to keep relationship going and getting in deeper. Relationship deeper. That's all the stuff that's in that book there. Right, okay, rushing along there. So there is value framework. That is how we can apply it across 90 days. There are 15 things that you can use, you can take away. I'll list them in what I send to you. Has this been helpful? Has this been helpful? Can you give me yes or no in there? Give me some feedback. Give me some feedback on this. Actually, let me spin the question. I talked about questioning skills, didn't I? And I asked a closed question. Who's going to apply the thinking? In fact, yeah, how are you going to apply the thinking? What is the thing, of those elements that is kind of at the front of your mind now going, I need to do that. I need to do that. Well, I wanted a yes or no, Mike. That's why I asked you. Deliberately closed. Yeah. Investigate use of AI. Awesome. Right. What else? Tell me, because I'm being a bit selfish here. Well, no, there's two things going on. Me asking you what you're going to do, I'm using an influence technique in that if you say you're going to do it, you're more likely to go and do it. Yeah. So I'm using it ethically so that you'll take it, you'll use it. You're also giving me feedback as to the stuff that's most interesting. Helps me in my job. Yeah. Quarterly value reviews using AI. What other stuff are you going to use? Let me know in there. Pop it in there. So in that case, value at the beginning, that will have a huge impact. It will have a huge impact. You might have to fight sometimes with management who don't want you to do it. That's weird when I find that. Take on super SDRs. What's that say? What does that say? Very interested in your take on super SDRs, talking about making 500 calls a day. Showing off in front of their friends. They probably don't. It's probably a lie. Yeah. What can you talk about? 500 dials? I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm talking about depth of conversation, bringing insight, yeah, exploring stuff together, collaborating. I mean, how can you do that 500 times a day? I'd struggle with 5, to be honest, because it's tiring. But that could just be me. So yeah, I think it's BS, to be honest. AI, right? Okie dokie. So, what's my last little present? Look, I want people to have a steep learning curve. I know people often say, "Oh, it's a steep learning curve," like it's a bad thing. No, it's good. It means you get performance faster and smoother. That's what you want. So I'm here to support you with that. I'm here anyway. But what I can offer is I've cleared a bit of my diary in the next 2 weeks. I can offer 7 implementation calls. That's just an offer from me to you to spend 45 minutes, an hour, looking at what you've taken from this or looking at what you're doing now and just figuring how you can take some of this stuff and use it. It's just me wanting to get you guys off to a flyer. Yeah, no commitment or anything like that. I want to see success. Yeah, there's a little bit of feedback from me on what people are talking to me about, admitted, but really it's a genuine offer. So that's the first come, first served thing on there. I can't offer more because of my diary. If you want to just either scan that or I've just put a link into the chat as well. That just goes straight into my diary. So I'd love to offer more on that, but diary's looking fairly tasty at the moment. So, cool. Good. They are there. We have a couple of minutes left. I don't know if my answer was too flippant around the 500 calls a day. I just think it's bollocks. Whoops. Honor, can you edit that when we put this out? AI is going to get a lot of domains put on the spam list and phone numbers put on the block list. Oh, right. So you're saying a super SDR is an AI SDR? Yeah, probably. I don't know. I don't know if it's because it's what I want as much as what I think, but um, I'm just wondering whether human skills are actually going to become more of a premium. Anybody can look stuff up on AI and go, oh, I know that. Well, no, actually, do you know it? Do you know it? Can you actually use it? And even if, because you think you know it, but actually once is it really in there? And then couldn't you actually take it and either speak on stage if that's what you're purporting to be, speak in front of a customer, even just speak on a pub about it? Do you actually know it? Or have we just kind of completely outsourced the thinking? It's the ones that have got it and can use it to stimulate that discussion and become the sense maker, I would say will become more valuable. People want to talk to you. People will want to talk to you. Please, could you put the main slide with the days in large fonts? I couldn't read it. I certainly can. Yeah, take a screen grab. I'll pop it into the. I'll pop it into the. Into the notes. That's the one that you're looking for, I think. There. So when you're looking at that, collaborate. The mindset piece is 0 to 15. Then validate. So the piece around the right opportunities is where you're looking in sort of 16 to 30. Align, that's your bit about the research, so the account plans, the sort of going deep on really understanding what they care about. The next bit. Leverage then is the conversations. So it's conversations, questions, meeting structure, bringing insight into play. Underpins proposals, presentations, and evolve is like, yeah, outcomes. Are they enjoying that? Okay. Grab that. Cool. Good. Right. Anything else that you want? Anything else that you need from me? Ask. I have got all sorts of resources across the podcast, across YouTube, across blogs, books, whatever. If you need something, you know where I'm at, ask. I can usually point you in the right direction. Cool. In that case, we have hit the hour. We've hit the hour. If there is nothing else, let's sign out. Wish you a good rest of the day, and maybe I'll be talking to some of you in the next week or so. Take care. See you all soon.